I have felt like Twiddle Storm has been underplayed for a while, so good job. I played Bad Decks, won yesterday's challenge. Stupid, yeah, we need to... I'll be yelling a lot today. I'll be screaming a lot today. Oh, dude. Michael, are you in the chat? If Madison is able to get no rush, of course, but if Madison is able to get the Uro Spider-Man emote done today, that would be perfect. That would be so good if we could get it midstream, but no big deal. JK, good morning to you. 2 months in a row. Yeah, I'm excited for this Wednesday as well. So yeah, we're gonna have a different stream schedule this week. I should probably make a command. I probably should have done that while I had extra time this morning. Dang it. Let me get Prairie stream here. We're gonna be doing. It's gonna be a weird schedule this week. There's a lot of modern super qualifiers to play in, and I think I'll respond to this. We really need this Ice-Fang to resolve. And so I'll be playing in a modern super qualifier today in about 3 hours. And then there's a Pioneer one tomorrow at 3 p.m., which is around the time the stream usually ends. And I was planning on playing in that, and I might still, but the problem is I'm supposed to be on the Dive Down podcast that day. So I'm not sure exactly how that's gonna work out, but I'll try to make it work. And then there's a Legacy PTQ on Thursday, and then there's another Modern one on Friday. And so I want to play in those at least. And then Wednesday we're going to do Dono decks instead of Thursday because there's a Legacy PTQ. And then Tuesday during the stream should be relatively normal. 3 hours till the PTQ. You're playing this kind of in preparation, seeing if this is what we want to play in the PTQ. I think it might be. I'm glad to get to test this matchup immediately, basically. This is a matchup I'm a bit concerned about, I guess. Not sure. I think that the 4 color side is like a little favored, but it's this deck grinds really well. It's not like a super lopsided matchup, at least. If my opponent bolts my Ice-Fang in response to Ephemerate, I'll path it, I think. Okay, they did not. What do we draw? Teferi and Uro. Seems like a good spot to jam a Teferi. Did we get Temple Garden so we can cast Witness or Skyclave? That is going to make like Cryptic Command a bit harder to cast, but it does make the spells we have in our hand easier. Will I choose my deck yet? I am kind of hoping I choose to play the deck I'm currently playing, but I'm not locked in by any means. We could bounce the Ice-Fang here. It's pretty bad against Rin and 6, but we probably need to force Rin and 6 anyways. They could have a Bolt. I'll plus. You're going to play Dredge in the PTQ, but I know nothing about Legacy meta besides Snoko is the best deck. I don't know. I think it's... If you know how to play Dredge, if you know how to play the deck, it's, probably not going to be that big a deal, but it is tough to, like, jam a PTQ in a format you don't know that much about. What am I playing in Legacy? I'll probably play Ant. I don't know. I've played Ant a few times recently, and it's felt really good to me. But I also would call myself an Ant expert and blah, blah, blah. Uh-oh.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
The Mohans, 11-month subscriber anniversary. Thanks, Mom. Good morning to you. Yeah, Stay Frosty. I mean, maybe it's just fine to jam. I don't know if Dredge is good at the moment or not. It sounds like fine to maybe just jam
Welcome,
it.
Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
We're gonna force this Tamio. We have a few answers to Omnath in our hands. Let me attack with the Ice-Fang. I think I'm going to bounce my Ice-Fang with Teferi here to try to hit
What's
a
up?
land.
It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
I'd really like to just go, like, path their Omnath, remand their Uro. Missed on our land again. It's been a pretty tough game as far as hitting our land drops go. Maybe it's not so bad if they escape Uro here.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
And we also, like, really need to start hitting some lands, so we'll just hit a land. Wow, so many subscribers. I didn't even notice. Kazlan, TGE, and Tron Travolta for 8 months, 5 months, and 10 emotes. Favorite global Twitch emote. I feel like I don't even use them very much, honestly. I don't know that I barely use, like, the global emotes, honestly. I tend to prefer to use, like, emotes of people I'm subscribed to. Should path on upkeep. I mean, we should do it on draw step because we have Teferi, but yeah. They do have a Ridden 6. We have Skyclave at least. For the Ridden 6. But they can also escape this Uro, which might be where our Skyclave needs to go. Oh, they didn't get another green source. I think that they're realizing their mistake that they got Steam Vents, which can't actually escape Uro here. So this might just be a freebie. They do shock, so maybe they're going to go like Cryptic Bounce my Teferi.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Elsa, 2 months in a row. Let me get on that hype train. Choo choo. Shovel the coal into the fire. They do go Cryptic Bounce Teferi. Man, it's been a tough game. I'm going to try to hit a land off of Ice-Fang. It's not the end of the world if we don't. We can just like remand Uro. Might remand Uro anyways. This game, man. This game. I'm going to discard my own Uro, though. We had to, like... We've drawn so many cards. We got to Ice-Fang, Ephemerate, Ice-Fang, Ice-Fang again. I think we kept a 2-lander. We Eternal Witnessed back a land. Oh, well. They probably have a counterspell to protect their Uro from this remand. They shock in the fountain, which makes me think that they have Cryptic. Just take the trade. They're going to bounce the lands. I think they're going to draw a card. They force instead, so I guess that means they could still have Cryptic, I guess. They just decide to use force instead. They target Force of Negation instead of Cryptic Command. Interesting. So that might mean that they have like a cantrip and they're worried about my Teferi. It's kind of what I'm reading them being on. Was I a Tony Hawk 1, 2, or 3 player? I think I played Tony Hawk 2 a bit. I wasn't super into the genre. But there's a YouTuber I like who really likes the Tony Hawk games. So they've actually been on my mind lately. It's nice that the Wall of Omens can block the Skyclave token. Out of curiosity, have I played again Flagfire? I have not. I've been very busy, like with other Magic stuff, and like that's been on my to-do list for a while. But I don't know. I just don't feel like that Flagfire is better than Jeskai or Bant at the moment. Oh no. Oh no. I just don't feel like it's better than Sultai or Bant. I think it's fine. I think like the Lotus Field deck is fine. But with these PTQs this week, I just want to try to be tryharding, you know. You feel like I was free to play Teferi there? They can't grow Spiral now that they tapped, but they have Force of Negation on top. They chose to put Force on top, which made me think that they could draw the Force that turn, right? And so that's like why I wanted to play Skyclave instead. Like, if they put Force on top instead of Cryptic, it should be because they can draw it, and in my opinion. You know, one of their 3 cards is still the Force of Negation. They have a 3rd Sanctuary. Do I think Omnath is good? I do. I do. If they don't have any way to draw cards, though, this isn't necessarily accomplishing all that much besides putting loyalty on Rand. We'll see if they have a 4th Sanctuary. Stinks out to keep F6ing. They drew an Omnath. That's a pretty sick top deck. We get a turn. We get a turn. So, hard to complain too much. We know one of their cards is Force of Negation. So I'm kind of inclined to just go Skyclave Omnath, Skyclave Renin 6. Seems fine to me. Maybe I should have played my land first for a mana leak. They go to get a tap Steam Vent so they can gain 4 life. Killing this Skyclave is also a bit of a problem in combat. To block my other Skyclave. Wait, where's my... I already have Prairie Stream in play. Damn it. So maybe I need to walk Teferi into Force of Negation. Here. I can, like, Mystic Sanctuary Ephemerate if I want to. I think I'm kind of down for that. So our opponent's hand is Force, 2 mystery cards. I think one of them is a land, but not sure about the other one. Also not sure about that one being a land, of course. Yeah, not being able to cast the second Skyclave is that play was really bad against League, of course. But I thought I could. Right, we do get to ping the Renin 6 for 1. I'm just gonna walk this Teferi into Force of Negation, which doesn't feel very good, but I think we have to get that out of their hand. The Remand isn't doing very much this turn, especially with them having Force. If they even if it would be good. There's the Ephemerate that we put on top. See how they react to this. Ewit. Interesting. So we can cast Time Warp if we want. Uro doesn't get Force of Negation though, and also just gets escaped again next turn. Yeah, that is the infinite turn loop. Got Uro resolved too, which is nice. Kind of feel like they could have a path. I think their hand is land spell. It could be maybe it's just land. Could be land bolt. Now a new mystery card. Now another Scalding Tarn has entered the chat. So they can double block my Uro here, which is not the end of the world because we can escape again. Kind of crazy that we're in this here. Let me think how I want to sequence this turn. I think I'm just going to attack Renin 6. See what I draw. And I may just escape Uro again. We'll see. I've got a lot of powerful interactive spells. I could Skyclave the Renin 6 and then hold up Cryptic if I wanted to here. I think I'll do that. And then end of turn we can go Ice-Fang. And in order to do that, I'll just fetch basic planes here. Do I think your deck is finally a good home for Uro? Yeah, I think this finally makes Uro playable. I dislike Aether Vial in these decks. I've played decks like this with Aether Vial in the past, and it's just this is a control deck. If you want to play Aether Vial, don't play Cryptic Command, and maybe not play Remand too. Aether Vial is good if you always draw exactly 1 and you draw it on turn 1 every game. But it's the floor is really low. Have I considered? I mean, I've played less counterspells and more dudes is just a Soul Herder deck, which I've played plenty of Soul Herder decks. But what I like about this deck is it gets to play the counterspells, which are super well positioned in the format. It doesn't have to play. It doesn't have to play Soul Herder, which I just kind of view to be not that well positioned of a card. Okay, I think I'm gonna play out Witness here. Probably getting back Force of Negation. Yeah, Soul Herder is sweet. I've played enough of Soul Herder to like know that it's not well positioned right now. Soul Herder in the Lava Dart format, and then like when you play Soul Herder, you can't. There's like you have to play a lot less interaction, which I don't like. I think I'm pitching Remand here. If my opponent counters my Force, I can Ephemerate Ewit and then Force again.
Welcome, Spikelings.
But not if they exile my Force of Negation. Alright, so Omnath is coming down. I guess I wanna flicker this now. Just so like they don't draw Lightning Bolt off Omnath and counter this. I mean, if their last card is Lightning Bolt, no good for them. It's Path, jeez. Not the end of the world. So we should be able to go Time Warp plus Uro next turn. Assuming they didn't draw like Cryptic Command off this Omnath. They're fetching, which might mean they need the Omnath mana right now. That would be so sick. To draw like a 5-drop off of this. They shock and Breeding Pool. What does that mean their draw was? I don't know. I'm going to start off by escaping Uro. And I'm going to leave Ephemerate and Path in the graveyard? Huh. I mean, they shocked in that Breeding Pool. They could have a mana leak. I'm just going to cast the Time Warp. Cool. Did feel like it was pretty likely that we resolved, right? They can double block my Omnath if they want to, but I can then Ephemerate my Sky... Now that I've drawn Ephemerate, I can Ephemerate Skyclave and kill the Illusion token. Why did they shock the Breeding Pool in? Was it just a bluff? They also didn't fetch to gain 4. Maybe they just like don't have fetchable targets left and they just needed, I don't know. Weird. Could have ventured Sanctuary to get Time Warp again. I mean that's like that plays around them having nothing, right? Uro is being Spider-Man for our opponent, I see. Well, they still gained the life even if they don't shock. And they could have fetched it if they had a fetch land to gain some life there. So I'm going to Venser Uro back to their hand if they escape it here, which they probably will. This does mean I don't have Cryptic Command up. So I could have pitched Ice-Fang to have Cryptic up, but I think it's fine. Yeah, they I think they might just be out of fetchables. No, they probably have another basic island and a basic forest, right? This is also game 1. My opponent has 13 minutes on their clock. What am I playing in the PTQ? I think this, but if this league could change my mind. It's kind of like a warm-up today. Canister's list has only 1 forest and 1 island? Wow. How many rounds is the PTQ? I anticipate it's going to be 8 or 9. It could even be 10, honestly. Sometimes these super qualifiers, especially like the first one, it's going to be huge. It's going to be a long day. And so it being a long day is, kind of why I wanted to start late today. But then I woke up an hour early, and then I was still just ready to go. They're supposed to tap the illusion token. They conceded anyways. So I've also cut the Aether Gust for Pithing Needles, which will help me against Belcher Oopspell spells, the Tron matchups, and is like fine in this matchup too, which is like mostly where I was bringing in the Veils for. Make me worse against some of like the red black mid range deck, but I think that's largely fine. Let me pull up my sideboard guide. Actually, I think I know how I'm sideboard, right? I cut the Ephemerates, the Paths, the Walls. I usually play 2 or 3 Skyclave in this matchup. Don't bring in the second Venser. Like 1 Aether Gust. Yeah, I'm sure they're playing Field of the Dead. Names Liliana and Chandler. Yeah, I haven't liked Needle against Red Black because they have so many ways to discard their cards. Like they're playing Channeler and Spyro and Liliana, so anything that you name is just going to be discarded for value. So I haven't really liked Needle against them. Not that you have to. You could reactively play the Needle, I guess. I'm gonna keep his hand. I think I'm putting back Prairie Stream. Thanks, Unexistent. Happy Monday. Kind of a late response. Yeah, the pizza queue is today. It starts in like 2.5 hours. So ideally we can finish this league before it starts, right? I will Ephemerate, or I will Tails in this Misty Rainforest. If they crack it here. Not quite lucky enough to draw another Tails End. Did you read your sub message? I don't even... Oh, I didn't see it. No. When did you subscribe? I didn't even hear the notification. Geez, sorry, bad. 10 months. Can't believe it's been a whole year already. It's awesome. Thanks for letting me know I missed it, dude. Can maybe play Jam Witness here. I kind of like at least having Tails end up if they counter the Witness for next turn. My real or just advanced AI? I am not advanced AI, very preliminary and basic AI. But AI nonetheless. I keep meaning to learn real hand sign combinations for jutsus, and I never have. But they might be randomly real jutsus. If there's basically infinite combinations of jutsus, right? So surely I'll hit eventually. Opponent jamming Jace there because they know we're about to draw the Tails End. Not the best Soul Guide Lantern. Probably not Tails ending the ETB trigger. If they sack immediately, it means they're wanting to draw a card to try to find a land. I'm not gonna counter the draw, but I don't think it would be insane to. What anime should you show your wife you finished Full Metal Alchemist? I was thinking Cowboy Bebop or Death Note. Those tend to be, the introduction to anime, right? And I think all of those would be fine. I would probably choose Bebop, but you probably know your wife better than I do, so you can probably make a more informed decision than I can, what she would enjoy. Yeah, I think we're supposed to counter that second activation there. Yeah, oh, I meant to watch some of Attack on Titan season 4 this
What's up?
weekend.
It's me,
but I
your
didn't.
friend Inspiring
Little
Splat.
Fit, 2 months in a row. Welcome back. And so I watched Cobra Kai, which is just getting worse and worse the more I watch. The more Cobra Kai I watch, the worse it gets. I think I'll let this resolve. Did I like WandaVision? Yeah, I did like WandaVision. Me and Esther watched the 2 episodes. I thought it was. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm digging it. I'm gonna play around Mystical Dispute here. They know that I have Tails End and Cryptic, so they may just be like hoping I choose the wrong answer there, like the greedier answer. Yeah. Cobra Kai is just a soap opera with martial arts, which isn't bad, but I don't know. I really feel like season 1 was so much better than seasons 2 and 3. It's like season 1 had like a good 10-episode structure. There really wasn't a lot of filler. And then in seasons 2 and 3, it's like there are a lot of plot lines that are very clearly just there to have something to do this episode, you know? And like it's like it feels like some characters are doing things just so that there's conflict this episode. And that there are some characters who feels like their whole existence is like to have like a, you know, to cause drama, to be a plot device. And like I don't know. I didn't feel that way in the first season, at least. Kind of want to fight over this. I think I'm gonna Force of Negation that way. I guess. Yeah. I'll Force of Negation. Can you ask why you don't use fetch? End of turn here. I would like to draw a land if I can. Is kind of the main reason here. And so I don't really feel like I need to fetch to thin. I'd like to keep hitting my land drops. But maybe that's not good. So let me get back the Ephemerate, I suppose, and pass. We did win the fight, but we might not win the war here. They have Omnath. It's pretty bad for us here, but not the end of the world. Yeah, that was the worst case scenario. Yeah, Breaking Bad is great. I really liked Breaking Bad. Esther's never seen it. I've always like intended to watch it with her one day. This card is 0 mana and draws a card and gains 4 life. It's pretty good. Do I know any decks that run both Noble Hierarch and Snapcaster Mage? I do not know of any deck that meets those requirements, sadly. Or those criteria, maybe I should say. I think I'll play Teferi first. Yeah, I don't really like Snapcaster and Bant Stoneblade, but I guess you could play it there. Also, Esther said she was making pancakes today. So hopefully that gives us the fuel we need to win this PTQ. I'm going to keep this. You're surprised you didn't pick up Bant Snowblade to play today. I've been like, I don't know. I think TSP Gendrick has a good list. I've been trying to think if I can improve on the list, and you know, I've got a lot of ideas and I haven't really been able to figure out. And it's really like whenever I start to think about Bant Stoneblade and I start to work on it, it just becomes this deck. I just cut the Stoneforge Mystics and I want to play Skyclave and Ephemerate so badly. And I think that this deck is better than Bant Stoneblade. but what do I know? The PTQ is modern. Is this Dredge? Yeah, Dredge is making a comeback too. And we don't have very much for this matchup, and so I'm also trying to see if we can, like I think Sultai can just beat Dredge with like Field of the Dead and Gargaroth. I'm not sure if this deck is gonna have like also a good time. Oh no, I meant to get Hallowed Fountain there. Sorry, I was like talking and thought I saw the right card there. Although this hand is not necessarily good against Dredge besides that Force of Negation. But that might be enough. Pithing Needle does... It stops Shriekhorn, but it doesn't really do anything else in this matchup. Need something to Ephemerate here. Yeah, we just don't have... I mean, Aether Gust is good against Dredge, which I think is quietly part of the reason why Dredge is... you know, a little worse positioned. Oh, they drew Cathartic Reunion off the top. That's so sick. I think that's a part of the reason why Dredge is doing worse. That and like the Cryptic Command loops is that like Gust is just pretty good against Dredge. No, I don't like Gargaroth very much in this list. The second already plays like so well to the board. What deck do I think I'm gonna play in the PTQ? I'm thinking this. I could also just play Sultai, which I've been working on and liking. I also like was kind of interested in Through the Breach, but if Dredge is making a comeback, Dredge has like a really poor Through the Breach matchup usually. Do I like Lotusfield Jeskai more than Flagstone's Wildfire Jeskai? I do, but I haven't played the other version in a little bit. Well, I think we're probably just toast, but I'll keep playing. Looks like it is the Showcase Challenge winning list because it's playing Burning Inquiry, which is pretty interesting. Inquiry is kind of dicey against Uros and like can also just not do anything, but you know, it's a random card, has really high upside, of course. They do get to dredge their Ox here. Not really sure that we can beat that, honestly. I'm glad to get to test this matchup for sure. Sodic is citing the red unearthed third. Needle does not stop unearthed, does it? I mean, if it does, it's not like I'm going to bring a Needle to stop Mayhem Devil, though. Or not Mayhem Devil. Something Devil. The hit conflagrates. Let's see what we draw. I think if we draw Uro, we have a chance. You know, as always, our heroes coming to save us, hopefully. Maybe I'm supposed to Ephemerate here. I think I am. I think we're going to end up... no, if I wanted to Ephemerate the Uro, right. That we have to draw. Well, this counters Conflagrate, at least. But we're just taking too much damage. We're going to end up dying to these Creeping Chills. I'm just going to go to the next game. Maybe Venser is good against them. Dredge has just not really been much of a part of the metagame in recent memory. Haven't had the sideboard very much in this matchup. I usually just like really dislike spot removal against them. I think maybe we keep in like one Skyclave Apparition. But just spot removing Dredge cards is usually not a good way to win, and like you just have Wall of Omens and Uro to blank a lot of their attackers anyways. Oh, I missed the deck tech Catfish. Yeah, just yell at me. Yeah. Just yell at me if I miss it. I didn't ignore it. Oh, this is a duck tech. Is this Scrooge McDuck? Who is this? Good shitpost. Good shitpost. Yeah, I think Venser's good. Good enough to bring in at least. Does Stifling Graveyard Triggers make Tails End okay? No, I don't think so. I think they're just trying to like one-for-one dredge. Like by Tails Ending Creeping Shield, Tails Ending Narcomoeba, Tails Ending amalgam, Path to Exile, like one of their 3 amalgams. That's just a losing battle. I think you just need to go over the top of them. That's been something I've found success. That's a plan I've found success with in the past. Like here we have Eternal Witness, Ephemerate, Cryptic Command, and we're just going to be able to tap their team, indefinitely. And Remand is very good on turn 2 usually. Put them almost to 6. Yeah. A lot of people are under the impression that Path is good against Dredge, but I really do not think it is. It's like they get back 4 or 5 guys in the first few turns, and then if you're like reactively pathing one of them and triggering your opponent's Bloodghasts, it's just a losing battle. It's just not how I like to play against Dredge, and I've not ever found success with that kind of game plan in this matchup. Opponent kept to 1 lander, which is, something that you're not usually supposed to do as Dredge. You're supposed to, like, mulligan for 2 lands, plus payoff. Well, my opponent didn't play anything into Remand last turn, so I'm gonna Uro and Ephemerate my Uro, I think. Although losing this Ephemerate is maybe a bit too bad, since I want it for this E-Wit. Gaining the 3 life is really good, though. But I think I'll just let it happen here and then get Temple Garden end of turn. Yeah, I think Rest in Peace, like, shutting off your Uro and Witness is too tough. And again, I've just been able to beat Dredge without Graveyard Hate when I play these blue decks for a while now. Like, I was like 2-0 against it with Sultai last week, and just like Uro and Cryptic Command Sanctuary just give you game against Dredge that you didn't have 3 years ago or whatever. Yeah, Burning Inquiry, I remember really hating Inquiry a few years ago, but I'm kind of glad it's seeing some play again. Oh, I didn't feel the sarcasm, Panda. Probably should have. Well, yeah, you really need to keep that second land in Dredge, usually. Although if they find a Narcomoeba, they're going to be doing some good work here. They missed. Probably going to game 3 in a second. Thanks, Evil Town. Wait, they have Lightning Axe? Stinks. Discarding Imp. But that's 3 cards in the yard for Uro at least. I don't know if I was supposed to play around it. Maybe I was. Still just doing really well, I think. They hit a Creeping Chill. That's 2 Creeping Chills now. Okay, I think I'm going to bounce my own Wall of Omens, draw a card here. I think I cast Cryptic Command faster than anybody else in the entire world. Something I maybe shouldn't be proud of, but am. They still haven't hit an Narcomoeba. Maybe they're all in their hand. I don't care if they have another Lightning Axe. I just want to skip Uro. Yeah, the new set looks really cool. There's a new the Red God that it says whenever you cast a spell, make a red mana. That card looks awesome. I think it's playable in Storm. I think that it would have to be built around a little harder. I mean, it's a 3-mana 3/3. 3-mana 3/3s in Modern don't have like a great track record. But the back half is pretty powerful too. The artifact half also seems like it's got a line of text that like just reads "wow" to me. What are my top 3 cards for Modern for Kaldheim? I'm going to be doing the Dive Down podcast this week, and I'll be going into depth, but the whole set hasn't been spoiled yet, so I can't answer the question. But we'll be doing a lot of brewing when it comes out. Don't usually give too many opinions until I have the full set released, which is, you know, maybe really bad for content, but is like the only way you can completely evaluate cards. Yeah. In Gift Storm, in the current iteration of Storm, it's worse than Brawl and Electromancer, I think, just being 3 mana. But I don't know. I think that it has potential. The cards read super powerful to me. I'm going to try to build around it. Is Time Warp super important to the deck? Not super important, but I think the first copy is relatively free to include and like allows you to win games that you could never win otherwise. And because you draw so many cards, you find the first copy of Time Warp pretty often. Yeah, there's lots of cards I've seen that excite me. There's a lot of potential in this set. It feels lower power level to me than like Zendikar was, or, you know, definitely Throne of Eldraine and maybe even Theros, but really cool set, and it's got some potential. Something for Standard with the new treasure. I don't usually play Standard. I mean, there's a chance that it just like really sparks my interest, and then I'll become a really successful streamer because I play Standard, but my focus is still on Modern for the time being. This hand has no cheap interaction. It does have Wall of Omens plus Ephemerate. My opponent mulls the 6. I'm gonna mulligan this on the draw. This hand's better. Time Warp is decent in this matchup. I could just put back, like, Misty Rainforest here. Kind of like that. Does that Raven's Warning card seem playable in Spell Shift? 3-mana tutor. Probably not. When I get hooked on Standard, can I make my arena name MTGO user Aspiring Spike? I already have the Aspiring Spike arena account. Probably not. I feel like people who don't know the inside joke would just think that I'm, you know, this MTGO boomer who's like begrudgingly playing arena. Which is not the vibe I'd like to emanate. Ooh, that actually sounds pretty sweet. A board wipe you can cast on turn 3 in Standard is kind of nuts. Although, you know, people, like, you'll get to play around it. They dredge Stinkweed Imp. No payoffs in the yard yet, but they've got 2 more dredgers. They're passing without using Shriekhorn. It's kind of interesting. The PTQ is in about 2 hours from now, so hopefully this league is done by then. And if it's not done and I'm still playing, yell at me so I can remember to register. Yeah, I guess Shriekhorn on my second main is better, huh?
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Thank you for the good luck wishes, Mr. Suri. Certainly hoping you run well today. Be nice to just win this one and not play anymore the rest of the week. Just be done with it. There's a new, cheaper, snowy, icy manipulator. It's cheaper? How much mana is it? Hopefully I get to Remand Ox here. You can definitely see my opponent just playing around it though. Probably playing this in the PTQ, awesome. Although I might play Sultai, depending on how this goes. Like, I think Sultai's got a better dredge matchup because it plays 4 Uros, and Field of the Dead is, you know, like, you're just like more consistent on the Uro plus Field plus Cryptic plan. Okay, looks like they're going for the Ox. Exile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope. Wall's kind of a good draw. Might go for Teferi next turn because it's a bit more mana efficient though. See what we draw. Uro would be really nice. Ephemerate's a bit weird because if I want to Ephemerate the wall, I can't because I can't. Because I need to fetch like Prairie Stream. So like unless I draw Mystic Gate, I won't be able to go wall plus Ephemerate this turn into Cryptic Command next turn. And Teferi Bounce Bloodghast seems okay to me. I think I'm gonna play the wall though. And then I'll have the ability to Ephemerate, I suppose. Like if I like desperately need to like Force of Negation a Conflagrate, I'll maybe try to go for that. But Bounce Narco, not Gas. I don't know. Our life total seems like super relevant with 3 Creeping Chills still being in their deck. Maybe though. They loan back Mountain to their hand. They can Ox of Ognas next turn. They play out a Thug. So if they have another land in their hand, which we don't know that they do for sure, we know that they have, I think Stinkweed Imp and Ox are the only 2 cards we know. I hope we can find Uro or Eternal Witness soon. Just they have 2 more Creeping Chills in the deck, you know. We're not that far away from taking infinite turns. Another Bloodghast is pretty bad for us. They're just loaming though for no value. So their hand is Ox, Imp, and probably 2 other dead cards. Could have maybe tapped draw to gain 2, but I think we don't need to. Okay, no Lightning Axe. Or if they have Lightning Axe, they just F6'd. Interesting draws. I'm just going to Time Warp here, I think. Alright, so we need to be able to counter Ox this turn. And we're going to be, I guess, dead if they... I guess they can't necessarily Ox us this turn, right? Because they didn't have a 5th land last turn. So maybe I'm going to Force of Negation their loam when they cast it. I think that makes sense. But we are going to be dead if they can find their 2 Creeping Chills before we can stabilize. Sorry, I'm having so much trouble casting this Force. I can Mystic Sanctuary, Ephemerate, or Time Warp end of turn if I so desire. Time Warp would just be, 0 mana explore effectively, which doesn't seem so bad to me. Two Creeping Chills left. I think I'm just gonna take my draw step. Hell. And what a draw step it was. Ah! What a draw step it was. Sometimes you have to believe that Uro's gonna come through for you. Just in the nick of time. You even have Force Up, which can't counter the Ox, but they need to rip a land off the top to cast the Ox, so not too worried about that. And even if they do, we don't die to Creeping Chills. If I didn't know any better, it sounds like I enjoy Uro. I think Uro should be banned. I enjoy this deck a lot. I enjoy yelling, but I don't enjoy the card Uro, really. But yelling is good. Certainly pro yelling. Yeah, winning is also fun, I agree. Drawing the perfect card, even if it is a card you don't like, is also not too bad. I love yelling. Yelling is great. Yeah, my neighbors probably hate the Spider-Man bit. But that's fine, because my neighbors leave their dog out all the time, and it's annoying. Oh, I guess I was just supposed to bounce. I was supposed to bounce the Sanctuary with Cryptic and take another turn. It's fine. That was the line, but we're, you know, in garbage time, too. I only play one Sanctuary in this deck. Yeah, I mean, I've been of the opinion Uro should be banned for a while now. I just think that it is a bit too warping, and like the package it feels with that Mystic Sanctuary Uro is just so competitive, and there's like a million different shells that can play those cards, and I think when you play all of them together, it just feels a bit too good. But like not just a bit too good, you know. It's not like a. I think the format is generally good and doesn't need a lot of changing, but I would prefer it if Uro left right now. What do I think of the new Foretell Wrath of God? I've heard what it does. It sounds pretty cool. Does not sound to be modern playable to me. But it sounds neat for sure. Yeah, this is the matchup that I am so scared of. This matchup it's not unwinnable, but it's pretty bad. And like this deck is like pretty popular at the higher level events. Yeah, GG's. Yeah, I think the round 2 keep was bad. Just like you have to mulligan for that second land, especially on 6 cards. Yeah, I mean, every deck is gonna have bad matchups. Like when I play Sultai, I'm like so scared of Blue-Red Prowess, but this deck isn't that scared of Blue-Red Prowess. Yeah, it looks like Bant, so like this is like a different version that is maybe a better matchup for us. I don't know. Every time I play this matchup, I just wish I had a second Time Warp in my deck. I was just more on the Time Warp combo. But this is, you know, basically the only matchup I feel that way about. Yeah, what is the new Icy Manipulator? What does it do? Is it just like a 3-mana Icy Manipulator? Because that kind of sounds great to me. Snow, tap, art, or artifact, or creature. I'm doing well. Qzon, how are you doing? Huh. Sounds pretty good. It doesn't tap a land, though. Icy Manipulator tapped lands. I don't believe I think all the cards get spoiled on Friday, right? Or if they get all spoiled today, that might make sense because the Dive Down wanted me to come on and talk about spoilers. Maybe I would be a better streamer if I talked about spoilers. Decide not to path if they had a path. Oh boy, yeah. Whenever you draw Time Warp is like when these matchups feel pretty solid. Wow, we have the combo. Just have to like accomplish the combo. So I could just like witness Ephemerate this turn, and then if my opponent casts Titan, without any mana up, they're just dead.
Hello.
Hey.
Do you know how I finally woke up today?
To Athena?
To your Uro yell.
Oh, to my Uro yell?
Yeah.
Good.
I was like, okay, I guess I better get up.
I should have a podcast. Having a podcast is a lot of work. I'd rather just be on other people's. And it's kind of like the stream is a podcast. You know what I mean? It's like, how am I supposed to have a podcast that's, you know, my thoughts on the format for an hour every week when all I do, you know, 30 to 40 hours a week is the same thing. You know what I mean? You guys want more of this, but without gameplay?
Just could be an hour of your Uro yell.
Well, all right, gamers, welcome to the Uro Yelling podcast, where we yell as if we are Uro for 2 hours. I'm just gonna cycle Remand here. I guess I forgot that they could just tutor up Cavern. Probably get Bajuka Bog here, I guess. Yeah, I guess I was just supposed to go for Witness last turn. Witness last turn probably just wins the game. But now things are just kind of unnecessarily difficult. If I draw Ephemerate, I can take another turn off the Sanctuary. But the Cryptic Tap is pretty good. But I can hide the Time Warp from Bajuka Bog with Sanctuary. Because they should be able to get another Bajuka Bog using Elvish Reclaimer. Although, they are, you know, a counterspell variant of their deck. So this Cryptic Tap might not resolve, but they're pretty unlikely to just kill me this turn. Yeah, maybe Upkeep Tap is better, because they might not draw a counterspell. They might have drawn whatever this counterspell is for turn, and they also have less information about what they want to Reclaimer. I think we should have upkeeped it. I agree. Bounce lands. Valakut, returning bounce land. I think I'll gain an extra 2 life by jumping here. I have seen, or I've read what the Foretell board wipe does. It's cool. Not modern playable, but cool. Could be a huge card in Standard, I think. I think we're dead. They just, like, Reclaimer for a second Valakut here. Yeah. Yeah, I think this game was a win if we just cast the Witness on the turn we held up Remand. Matchup seems tough, though. I guess I want the third Teferi if I'm going to be playing, if they're playing counter spells. Maybe just play like 2 Skyclaves. It's just so hard. It's just so bad to ever draw 2 Skyclaves in this matchup, I think. Maybe is it worth cutting path? No, you don't want Anthonize against the Blast Zone deck. They just like tutor up Blast Zone pretty easily and get your Anthonizes. And like you need to be able to path Dryad at instant speed. Yeah, maybe I want the third Skyclave over the second Force. But they do play counter spells, but Force is like not that good against counter spells, I guess. I'll play 1. Skyclave is also a bit better on the play against Reclaimer. Keep this. I think it's pretty hard to like get away from Time Warp in this matchup because it's your best card. Do I have an updated Grixis Dragon deck? I think I liked the last list I played, so it should be in the stream deck or somewhere. Cutting Snapcaster seems wild to me. What are they playing instead? It's like the best snap. If you can't play Snapcaster in that Grixis Dragon deck, Snapcaster is not playable in Modern. But I do think Snapcaster is good in that deck. All right, Ice-Fang, you got 20 turns to get your job done. Go.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Adam, MTG, 4 months, back from more shenanigans. Hell yeah. We actually cast shenanigans last week or 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna gust this on the stack. That way, if they have Veil of Summer, it doesn't stop this. They put the Reclaimer on top, which is kind of fine. 3 Unearths and no Snapcasters is crazy. They're also like, I mean, this is a very different deck. This is playing discard spells instead of the counter spells and Kroxa, which I think is worse, but because Sprite Dragon and Luris, I think, both played decently well with counter spells. I don't know. It's an interesting take, for sure. They did 5-0. Oh, I was probably supposed to gust there. Maybe fine. Could gust on, like, their upkeep. It's pretty bad if they just get Cavern, I guess. And we've used our Gust. Would also have liked to draw a green source there. Might even, like, path my own Ice-Fang for a green source. I think my opponent has Remand. It's a bit weird, right? But I think this makes sense to me. We need the mana pretty badly. So we can Gust in response to the Misty Rainforest, and then they can't activate Reclaimer. Then we can hold up Venser to, like, bounce Teferi. Looks good to me. Doesn't feel great. I mean, like, letting them resolve Teferi is bad, but if they resolve Teferi, this Veil Summer that we're putting back in their hand gets worse, and then they can't really minus it, otherwise it just dies, and our hand doesn't care about Teferi currently. And getting this, this also shuffles away Reclaimer. They could also just slam a Primeval Titan, I guess. Should be bad. This matchup seems really bad. They got Misty, or Breeding Pool, which is a little weird in their Field of the Dead deck, but whatever. They should have just got a Bant to Triumph, obviously. The PTQ is in an hour and a half. It starts at noon my time. An hour and 36 minutes. Hopefully we can be done with this league by then. I'm doing well, Simon. How are you doing today? Alright, thank goodness for no Valakut. So if I draw a land, I'll probably go Uro, and then if I hit another land off Uro, I'll go Uro into Time Warp, and if I don't, I'll go Eternal Witness for Path on Dryad, probably. That's all. This is all if I draw a land. I drew a Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, which is an odd draw. But I think I'll just go Teferi minus on their Dryad, attack their Teferi down to 2. Oh, wait, we know they have Veil of Bummer. Well, this wasn't well thought out, was it? Land is nice, though. So what was I supposed to do? Not sure. Maybe this is what I was supposed to do. I'm not sure, though. It feels close. Ewit Path, maybe. They bounce Venser, which is weird. Isn't Veil green? They have Dryad of the Elysian Grove, which makes all their lands tap for any color. So let me just go ahead and attack Teferi and make them do something about this. Kind of thrilled with their pathing, right? I think I want to Time Warp pretty badly. They might play Mana Leak, but it's like not super likely. But I'm going to be casting a 3-drop after this Time Warp anyways, so feels like there's no reason to not play around Mana Leak or Mystical Dispute, which is more likely. They cycle Veil of Bummer, but little do they know I did not target them with Time Warp, so this doesn't counter Time Warp. What a fool. Then I'll go Sanctuary or Witness back Time Warp, which could get Mystical Disputed, but don't think I think on this turn I'm just kind of want them to get their interaction out of their hand. I mean, the Sultai Triome is a big reason why I like Sultai. Card is so good. We also get to attack this guy, which I think I'll start off doing that. I might minus on the Dryad. No, I guess I won't minus on the Dryad if I get to resolve this Time Warp. Cool, they conceded. It's pretty lucky. Yeah, they're a Teferi Time Raveler deck. We need these forces. I'm actually going to go down on 8. Is going down on Aether Gust against the Titan deck just nuts? Maybe it is. I think Skyclave is worse on the draw. I think I'll do 2-2. Or, sorry, yeah, 2-2. I mean, Skyclave also answers to Teferi, so maybe this is unwise. They're a Veil of Summer counterspell deck, so I think I want my Teferis. I think I want the paths, because pathing Dryad at instant speed is such a important thing, but maybe I can afford to just play 2 and play the 3rd Skyclave and 2 Force. This looks pretty good to me. Maybe on the draw I can maybe even cut the 3rd Remand and play the 3rd Force. Although both are like okay against Teferi. Yeah. Their deck seems hard to fight. It's like the actual worst Titan matchup. Real headache. I'll probably keep this hand. I don't know. Mana's pretty awkward. Yeah, mana's pretty bad. Let's see if my opponent keeps or not. They keep 7. Alright, let's try it. Things will work out. Alright, no turn 1 Reclaimer. It's kind of nice. That's a good draw. I guess I'll play around Tail's End. I mean, yeah, just like always play around it, right? In every situation, even against non-blue decks. Our opponent is a blue deck. Wow, they kept a 2-lander? Jeez. It's a freebie. I mean, their hand probably has Teferi Time Raveler. Dude, those first 2 matches were so... those first 2 games in that match were so difficult. Those were some of like the hardest games I played in a while, and then game 3 was just a layup. Well, kind of hard to keep 2 double green cards with no green mana and like no play till turn 3. But I'd probably keep that 7 over any random 5. This is what I get for tight mulliganing. The London mulligan exists, Spike. Just mulligan. And obviously, I think we played fine there. This hand's also fine. Just gonna keep the good Simic cards. Oh, I have to put 3 cards back. I mean, these are hopefully gonna be 2-for-1s. Well, missing that Wall of Omens. It's a fine draw, though. Hopefully my opponent goes like blue land, Sprite Dragon, and I can trade Ice-Fang for it. Were we on the play? We were on the play. Mold a 4 on the play. Blah. Against, I mean, okay, well, maybe we're not beating the triple 1-drop prowess start ever. You know, this start is usually difficult to beat for any deck. Interesting. All right, let's try to draw. If we can draw a white fetch land and we have Ephemerate plus Force Up, I actually think we have a decent chance. Or Basic Plains works too. Awesome. Wow. Wow. Kind of the nut, like the nut 3 cards. Mold a 4 on the play. If I didn't draw the white fetch, was I going to concede? I mean, probably not, no. Opponent could have all lands. That probably would not have been the most aggressive concession I've ever made, but would have been in the top 5. I've made a few loosey-goosey concessions. All right, I'm gonna let this resolve. What the nice thing about Mana Morphos is if they don't play a land, like you don't have to play around anything because they're mana fizzles. They seem to be mono red. They do have a land to play. 3 mana. Oh, their hand's weak. Their hand is weak. I'm also more interested in killing Swift Spirit than Soulscar Mage because Teferi is good against Soulscar Mage. Dude! Alright, I'm gonna Ephemerate now, I think? No, I'll block here, and then I want to get my draw 2. We need to get the draw 2 here. We drew Uro? We're gonna win. I mean, I think we have favorable Swift Spear matchups, but like I didn't think that they were mold a 4 on the play favorable. So if we find a land, Uro into wall is really, really good. Teferi bounce Soulscar Mage also seems decent. And they make this death touching. I think I'm going to go for the Uro line. It's also just so nice if we get to escape it next turn, of course. And this could just be a blue card for Force, potentially. We need to find another blue source for Uro, but most of our lands tap for blue. Hey, Tito. Hey, are you making pancakes?
Not yet.
I just wondered, like, today, you know. Is that still in the plan?
I forgot about that.
You don't have to. If I can, you know, if I could trade pancakes for tin cup, that's what I choose.
Okay, then I do that.
Okay.
I'll make coffee though.
That'd be good. They're gonna bolt my Ice-Fang.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
I kind of feel like this is bait for a Lava Dart. I don't know. I'm just gonna let this go. McThony, 8 months. Welcome back. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. I don't know if they had Darwin, they'd just dart my Ice-Fang. I feel like keeping the forest is fine. That's close. Did not draw the blue source either. Cool. Now we got to get this blue source into play without paying any life for it. This is the big turn. We're at 13. They could run very well here to potentially get out of this, but like yeah, them sacking these canyons so aggressively does not indicate to me that their hand is super strong. Keep in mind, I subbed the day you went full time, so 8 months of full time. Wow, I didn't know it had been that long. I thought it was like 6 or 7. Time really does fly. Jeez, we'll have to do something special for the anniversary, but it's going great. Ooh, an Esther emote would be pretty good. Yeah, we probably should have an Esper emote. An Esther emote, sorry. An Esther Esper emote. Anniversary suggestion, fancy hats. I think for our anniversary is coming up. Our anniversary is the day after her birthday, so it's a busy weekend. Or wait, is her birthday is the day after the anniversary? Yeah, our first date was the day before her birthday, and then I remember that first I texted her happy birthday, but I didn't get her anything because we had only been on one date. Yeah, I do think I am gonna do another subscriber tournament. I just haven't like picked a format, but that is in the plans for this summer is another subscriber tournament. I think you should escape Uro before. If we sanctuary, we can't escape Uro, but I think it's just better to get the land into play than it is to hold for value, especially when I have no lands to play and like 6 spells in hand that are all 3 mana. Dude, we mulled to 4 this game. It's kind of sick. Obviously, mull to 4 was the line. Yeah, their draw was also less than stellar, for sure. Yeah, I should mull to 4 more often. We didn't even need to use the Force of Negation, although we could have maybe tried to save the Ice-Fang. I feel pretty good that I still have it in my hand, though. I'll force a Lava Dart, I think. Yeah. Yeah, 2 cards, opponent. I have F6'd. That Lava Dart was targeting Uro, by the way. If we get to attack with this Uro, it's over. Dude, Sunbig Canyon, it was such a good get for these red decks. You know, just like the red Horizon lands were such a big boon for these strategies. Mutagenic Growth targeting Soulscar Mage. They need to cast 1 more spell in order to kill this Uro. But I imagine that they have it if they're going to cast the Growth here. Which means my Wall of Omens is also going to die. Another Mutagenic Growth. Alright, they're down to 1 card though. So we can cast Witness and Skyclave if we want to. I might want to Witness back Wall. Maybe we could Witness back Uro. Yeah, I think that's okay. We can go Skyclave, Soulscar Mage, Witness back Uro. Next turn, gain 3 life, and then Skyclave again. Or maybe we could Witness back Force of Negation. I think I'll get back the Uro. And just not plan on not being able to escape it next turn. This also does let us force if we need to, but I'm gonna try not to. That might be worth it. Gosh. That might be worth forcing. Yeah, I'm pretty scared of like that drawing them into a kill. And we're still like pretty ahead here. They've got one card left in their hand. They have their last card is a spell. Jeez. I'm gonna double block. Wow, that worked. It's good. Braiding Pool, not a very good draw. Yeah, Raveler would be really bad. Maybe maybe that was the spell. Them checking how much the Raveler cost. Yeah, I'm kicking myself for picking that Uro up. Raveler costs 4, so yeah, you guys were right. It was Raveler. Well, gosh. And you have a really hard time killing it too. And then now they're gonna untap with 4 cards in their hand. We drew 2 lands in a row. Awesome match, or awesome game rather. But I don't think it's gonna go our way.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Brian gifting us up to Freedmania. Thanks, buddy. I picked up the Uro, so I was thinking that I was gonna be able to survive this turn. I picked up the Uro with Eternal Witness, and I was thinking next turn I was gonna just gain 3 life and then Skyclave again. But then they cast Crash Through, and I was terrified of Crash Through, and I decided instead I was going to force the Crash Through pitching Uro. Which seemed to be a game-losing line. All right, we're at 1 life. I don't think I'm supposed to play around a burn spell here because we were dead to it anyways. Oh, I guess we were actually just dead to the dart right there, huh? Yeah, they punted. Can't believe it. I really hope that emote is ready today. Dude, what the hell? Thank you, Esther.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get your best Uro yell, Esther, or is it too early? Oh, she left. I don't think she heard me. Maybe I can attack here. Oh, I don't want to tap like this because then I can't Skyclave. Every time I top deck Uro for the win, I'm contractually obligated to yell about it. It's been like a recurring joke on the channel. Opponent says God in all caps. I mean, they did punt, for whatever that's worth. So did we, too. I think I'm chumping. I'd like to have an Ephemerate in the graveyard, so if I top deck my second Eternal Witness, I just win. This does come at the cost of giving them a 1/1 token, which I think is okay. So I'm going to play Teferi first, and this way there will be no tricky stuff. Alright, well, that one's a little bit of a weaker Uro, I guess. We get to play it and gain 3 more life, though. Uro. Remember when we were at effectively 1 life 2 turns ago? Yeah, Uro sucks. I'm very much in favor of banning Uro. I don't know if that needs to be said at this point because I feel like I say it a lot. But for those of you who don't know, that is where my opinions lie. do kind of feel like they're going to bring in Blood Moons. So I kind of want a sideboard like this. This looks really good to me. Hold to 4 that game. Hold to 4 that game. Yeah, obviously just inviting the Bant talk when it's a bit of a punt. I think Coatl's like fine against these decks. Like you're either getting like a 2-for-1 or a 1.5-for-1, but it's like it's not great tempo. Crappy tempo mode. Well, we might get a new one today, but I do appreciate you. Oh, it looks like you just like cropped my Twitter post. But we might. Madison that said that she'd be able to get it done today. So we just DM her. I'm gonna keep this. This hand's good. Could even play around Blood Moon with this hand, which is nice. I really would like to not path on turn 1, so let me just like be able to get my forest. Is Dead-Eyed Navigator too cute? Dead-Eyed Navigator being a 6-mana card that you have to untap with, then just not giving you any value the turn it comes down is not powerful enough for Modern, sadly. Although the first deck I ever played on Magic Online, they brought in Cleansing Wildfire, what the hell? The first deck I ever played on Magic Online was a Dead-Eyed Navigator Acidic Slime deck in Standard. I played I played Arbor Elf with there's a 3-mana enchantment that doubled mana on a land. So it's surprisingly similar to like the modern Ponza decks, but Standard. Does Madison have a website? Yeah, there's a panel to. Do I have a Bog Artist command? There's a panel down below that has a link to her Instagram, and she's an MTG Ultrist, and she's also a good friend of mine. We play D&D together. Known her and her husband for like 6 years, 7 years. And she does take commissions, but those are not. I'm not sure how often she's doing those these days. But she's done almost all of my emotes. Just gonna pass here. This was a weird card to bring in. Another one. Well, you know what? This is my last basic planes, but I have Mystic Gate in my hand, so I don't really feel like I need to worry so much about this. Yeah, I agree that it's very unlikely that they're playing both Blood Moon and Cleansing Wildfire. However, just because it would be pretty loose to play both of those cards together doesn't mean that they're not playing both of those cards together. Yeah, our opponent might be thinking Field of the Dead, but I mean, is Field even a good answer? Is Wildfire even a good answer to Field of the Dead out of these decks? Just like kill them. I'm gonna guess this, but after they lose this red mana. Thank you, Simon. Yeah, she was going to like whenever there was like a local SCG or GP, she would get a booth. She did that like 2 or 3 times in 2019, and she was pretty successful. She was killing it. Gonna bolt me. Guess this. Why no boost in 2020? I mean, maybe it's possible we all get a vaccine in time for some summer GPs, but there was something going around in 2020. Can't be bothered to keep up with every little pandemic, though. Yeah, sorry, yeah, 2021, yeah. There's something about a global pandemic or something. I can't remember exactly. There's PTQs today. I usually like to wear, you know, like to try to feel confident when there's a PTQ, if I can. Yeah, I've just been, you know, locked in this room for the last year and a half, so I don't know. Did they put this on top? Probably should have checked. They did. Ooh, Kiln Fiend looking really bad here. Bedlam Raveler always looking great every time it's ever been cast. Card's just unreal. Well, I've actually traded my deal with Esther for pancakes, and instead she's getting a sandwich from my favorite sandwich place. So it was a difficult deal to make, but one that I think will ultimately help our tournament chances. So they're probably going to sack their relic or their lantern here, right? Which is kind of fine. Every time there's an Uro yell, Esther slides a pancake under the door. Apparently, my Uro yell woke her up this morning. Oh, dude. What have I done? What have I done? They're a Cleansing Wildfire deck. I guess that's probably why that might be why they brought in the Wildfires, and I just now I'm realizing. Yeah, it's a modern PTQ. It's, you know, I'm not even 100% sure exactly what's in the sandwich. It's just, there's a really good local sandwich place that's only open during lunchtime 4 days a week, and it's open today. And it's just like the quality of ingredients is really high, but I'm not 100% sure what's in the sandwich. Is just what I always get. Yep, mistakes were made. It's fine. Good learning lesson, right? I mean, they're discarding 3 cards too. Not that this isn't terrible for us, but they could have played out that Kiln Fiend. Man, I keep forgetting about the BTT emotes. But now that I know I can get Rat Jam, there's like a good chance I actually do it. I mean, I also like had an extra hour this morning that I could have done like a lot of like maintenance things for the stream. Decided to start early. I don't think a mod can add the BTT emote stuff. I mean, I don't really know how it works exactly. Okay, the 4th Cleansing Wildfire has been cast. And we're out of basic forests, out of basics. Still doing fine. Is Bedlam Raveler and Ephemerate an idea? Well, the problem with playing those 2 cards together is that Ephemerate like kind of needs to be a deck full of mostly creatures, and Bedlam Raveler needs to be a deck full of mostly instants and sorceries. So there's definitely tension there, and it's kind of like Snapcaster plus Ephemerate. It's like there's definitely the possibility of just drawing the wrong half of your deck, which I would be concerned about. I didn't know you could have a content manager on Twitch. I'm like definitely not big enough to want one, but I have one for YouTube. They don't bolt the Teferi, which is good, so I don't have to do anything on the YouTube. Hi YouTube if you're watching this. I love you. Yeah, I do. I've got an editor who takes basically just stream VODs and then uploads them. I guess I'm gonna look for an Aether Gust here. Or a Remand. I studied out Remand. Yeah, my editor's been killing it. Just doing a really good job. I'm I think I'm gonna path right now. It's an interesting draw. Fetching and shocking is a bit scary, but I think we need to get Ewit Ephemerate going. And our opponent's like not a super efficient burn deck either. Right. Dude, Crash Through is the worst card we could have seen here. So bad for us. Because we just can't path 3 things. We can only path 2. Probably playing this in the PTQ Fran. Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure that we're dead. The PTQ is modern, which is the format we're playing right now.
Baby, you know what's so cute? I was sitting on my chair and Athena keeps trying to give me the bone and she set it on my chair behind my back and then she looks at me.
That's very cute.
She says, please.
I mean, opponent also has to win game 3 with 6 minutes on their clock for whatever that's worth. You can path Ephemerate, you wait to get that path back in hand, Ephemerate Skyclave, that clears the board. The problem is I only have 3 white mana. The 4th Bedlam Raveler? Really? They play 4? Oh, this is the 3rd one. Okay. 4 seems like a lot, but 3 seems okay. Hold! 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 I think maybe we're doing okay. So we can go double block here. Maybe triple block just to stay at 6 life and then go path. Although that does mean that we lose. It does mean that we lose. I guess we could just Ephemerate the Witness. Yeah. I think I don't want to go to 6. We can also flash an Ice-Fang in response to the Ephemerate trigger. There's 5 mountains in the graveyard. They should be pretty low on lands in their deck. I guess this puts us to 7. Yeah, I'll keep the Skyclave around. Sorry, I miscalculated. Also weird that they didn't sack the Canyon. Still have 2 Uros in the deck. I feel like every time I play the 4 mana Uro deck, like the 4 color Uro deck, I just don't do very well with it. Compared to compared to Sultai or Temur or Bant. We're just playing Ice-Fang here, so we draw Uro. Drew Ontanize. Well, I will not Ontanize Raveler again. What a silly mistake. I think I'm just going to hold a Path plus Ephemerate instead of playing this wall. Oh, I get right. You're right. They already used the 4 Cleansing Wildfires. Never mind. Oil. We'll Path the Raveler, right? It'll be fine. Burning Rage seems really bad against the Skyclave Apparition deck. I mean, yeah, they only have 14 cards in their library, and they also have to win game 3. That's the Kiln Fiend before light at the stage, right? Another crash through. Rate the Fang instead of getting back another Ice-Fang. This way I can... Because I'm kind of choked on... color, like non-blue mana, because they cast 4 wildfires this game. Been an absurd game of Magic the Gathering. I think I'll still get back both Ephemerates. We can Skyclave the Shrine of Burning Rage. Why not Path, Ephemerate, Witness? I mean, I did cast both of those cards, right? Did I not? Maybe I didn't. I mean, they've cast lightning bolts. They are playing 4 Bedlam Revelers, and that's the 4th one. Golly, they've got 7 cards left in their library, but they've already cast 3 bolts, I think. So they might just deck themselves. It's kind of absurd, right? Bedlam Reveler. They have 6 cards left, 5 after the cast of the Crash Through. Oh no, I was supposed to Ephemerate the Witness here. Oh, what they are punting. If only we could Ephemerate their Bedlam Reveler. Oh, the Whisper having... Oh, maybe I was actually supposed to Ephemerate both Skyclaves here, because now this having Trample is a really big problem. 4 cards left over there. Do I have a Prairie Stream? I don't. It's the 4th Bolt. Wow, you were gonna be dead. We have not gained almost any life off of Uro this game. Yeah, 3 life I think total. What a gamer! What a gamer! Play it out. Yeah, I can make them click and kill me, or I can just die. Yeah, I don't play for time, especially not in leagues, but. If I'm dead, I'll just concede. That's how I like to play the game. It's better to double Ephemerate the Skyclaves, but once we didn't do that, we were dead. Cut onto nice. I don't know. Actually, I do know. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think these are the exact cards I want, but I'm just gonna put cards in because yeah, you're right. The Yontonices are going to be real bad. I'm just going to play Cryptics, have counter spells for the Revelers. Pretty likely to time out, but I just want to play good Magic, especially when I'm testing for the PT key that's in an hour and I've got plenty of time. Just want to play more Magic. Tails in the Raveler ETB. It's not like that good of an exchange. Because you're still getting 2 for 1. 5-0. Okay. $25, yes or no? How are we doing on the leaderboard? Do we move up? Yeah, we move up a little bit if we trophy here. Leaderboard's almost gone though, right? Like a week and a half. Keep this hand. Shrine of Burning Range. I mean, their shrines are so bad against Mites of Fairies and Skyclaves already. But it would be pretty cool to tails in that. Yeah, I am streaming the PTQ. I started like 7 minutes late. I was going to start like an hour late today with the intent of like just giving myself some time and, you know, not be streaming for like 10 hours today. And I woke up an hour later than I usually do, with the intention of being very well rested for today's PTQ. And then despite waking up an hour later than I usually do, I was still ready to go at my usual time. And that's maybe because I was very well rested. Yeah, I don't really want to shock in a breeding pool here. Although it's probably best to just use your mana in Skyclave. I'm gonna get rid of the Swift Spear since this is pretty good to balance with Teferi. We didn't see Blood Moon last game, but they may have like. I mean, how can you have Blood Moon and Wildfire in your sideboard, right? Surely you just play one or the other. I'm gonna block to play around light up the stage. This dies to any burn spell anyways. I'm a genius. Yeah, it just died to any burn spell anyways, so I think it was good to block there. My opponent's playing quickly. That could also have been what happened. Yeah, I guess I'll just hold up Gust. Yeah, I don't think our opponent has time to, like, imply that they made a misclick, right? If they only have 2 minutes, just, like... Just play the game, I think, right? You don't have time to do this? I'm talking, like, strategically speaking only. I just don't think you have time to write stuff like that. Put the mage on top, then draw into it with Sunbaked Canyon. They only have one card left in their hand. I think I'm going to go to Fairy Balance and then play Wall. They have a Lava Dart in their yard, which can kill Teferi, which is pretty fine. Attack for 2. I'm not accusing my opponent of salt. Just like from a strategic mindset, you know, there's like a time where you can't really afford to chatter. I think we can attack because they can't grow the mage in response. It's MLK Day, right? That's why people have the day off. Happy MLK Day. I can escape in a row, so I'm gonna. Modern in 2020. 2021. Keep doing that too. Yeah, I mean, I've already done it a few times today. Don't want to kill the meme. Don't want to kill the meme. Probably should have helped the Sanctuary. Doesn't really matter. Arrow won this game necessarily. Like, we're still pretty ahead without this arrow. How many years till? That's the big question. Just simply power creep Uro out of Magic instead of banning it. You get a good night's sleep, and I'm gonna have a good lunch, so let's see what happens. Scalding turn go. The format of the PTQ is modern. Any plans to stream the Legacy PTQ this week? Yeah, yes, I think I'm going to be. Is this Storm? I have a good hand against Storm. Arid Mesa. I guess this is Blue-Red Prowess. Storm doesn't play Arid Mesa. Yeah. Do you want to force light up the stage here? Oh, this is Stormwing Entity. I think I'm playing this in the PTQ. I mean, it's going really well today. They put one on top, one on bottom, so I'm probably gonna go Breeding Pool into Path them in their upkeep. Get to shuffle that card away. They don't main deck Spell Pierce usually, so I'm not afraid of Spell Pierce. Dark Souls between rounds, maybe. I think I'm gonna do like a Teamer Cube draft and maybe play some Dark Souls, maybe play some Hades. Maybe just sit and chat. Not to use Path's ability because they want their top cards so much. Interesting. I don't think I'm forcing mutagenic growth here. Maybe sing show tunes. Hell yeah. Down to 14. Interesting draw. I think I'm bouncing Stormwing Entity this turn. Playing this so I could go Skyclave plus Ephemerate if they play another cheap creature. Lava Dart. Maybe I was supposed to force that. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to force that. I'm not going to stream the PTQ with a delay, but I will put no outside assistance in the title, which I feel like I should just have been doing for these tournaments. I try not to look at chat too much, but let me win or lose on my own merit, please. Let me get a Breeding Pool here. Doesn't feel very good to force this, but I think it's where we're at. Assist by cheering, just don't, tell me the lines to take. They're having a hard time over there. Burst Lightning's my Skyclave. Well, it's fine. Not gonna ephemerate that. Why do this? I don't understand. Seems weird to me. Storming Entity. You can replay if they dart, but that's fine. Next turn we can Mystic Sanctuary, Path, Ephemerate Wall, and then Path the Entity. They drew Sprite Dragon though, which is bad for us. Bad for us for sure. They saved the dart for the entity. So delay or no stream at all. I will not. I'll be streaming without a delay, and I will be streaming. Is there some rule? Is there some like new policy about streaming PTQs? Because I've streamed them without a delay in the past. I'm not like very worried about ghosting. I kind of feel like ghosting just doesn't happen very often. I'm gonna get another Stormwing Entity. We have 2 draws. Dude, thank you for the raid. It's been a long time. How you doing, Gab? Streaming some Bants in preparation for today's PTQ. It's going pretty well so far. Tap draw. I don't have a second Sanctuary.
Your friend Aspiring Spike.
Can't Stormwings or can't Skyclave Stormwing. And the 11th month in a row. Bringing a curse to your league. I'll take it. I'll take it. Curse. It's acceptable. The thing is, the problem is if we bounce Sanctuary, we're not pathing to Stormwing next turn unless we top deck a way to draw a card. So I think I'm just going to tap draw. Put in draw lands. Draw Eternal Witness to deal with this. We can draw Just Uro and ignore it. We can draw land. Thanks for the curse. Thanks for the curse. Is your list public? Yeah, you can exclamation point deck. New sub notification. What do you say? Yeah, it's been there for a couple months now. It's hey, it's me, your friend Aspiring Spike, which is a I was like trying to like pretend I had high energy, and then I did this clip, and then it's a bit from the clip. All right, land stinks. So I'm gonna bring in the cheap removal spells. It's nice to have a lot of answers to Stormwing Entity post board. I'm probably gonna play some amount of Aether Gust, but not too many. These blue-red lists do sometimes play Blood Moon, but I kind of feel like it's terrible in their deck. But that being said, I still think I want to have some answers to it. Probably no Force of Negation, 2 Cryptics, something like this. Keeping this, I do think this is a good matchup. Like of all the, especially compared to Sultai, it's like Sultai is a bad blue-red matchup, I think, because it's so hard to kill Stormwing Entity. But Bant has a decent one because you have 6 good answers to Stormwing. So I'm feeling pretty good about our chances to still win this match, curse aside. I've played against this deck where they have Blood Moon and they just can't cast their blue spells. Like they play, like 12 blue spells, something like that. And like to rely on Mana Morphos to be able to cast them, I think is just a little loose. We can bounce this with Venser, I suppose, but don't have a super clean answer right now. Easy block. Another Skyclave. Do we Skyclave the Soulscar Mage? I think we do. Probably not dead. Wow, no spell to cast is nice for us here. I think I'm just gonna Skyclave their dragon and hold up Ephemerate here. This is maybe a bit loose, but scared of the dragon than the entity, potentially. It's disputed. We have 6 really clean answers to this, and then like 3 Teferis, and we also have the Venser here. Hopefully we can draw one. Opponent seems like they have a pretty threat-heavy hand. Wait, all light up the stages. There's Lava Dart. Get an Ephemerate in response so they can't get -1 counters, if that's relevant. Probably not very relevant, though. All Skyclaves. No paths are on thin ice. Curse. Back. Venser plays around Spell Pierce. But both Cryptic and Venser get disputed. They have 1 card in their hand. Pretty easily be a Spell Pierce. Yeah, I think definitely could be a Spell Pierce. I'm gonna get basic Forest here. Cast Venser, bouncing Stormwing Entity. With Ephemerate up. Then I'll go to blocks. What happened to Modern? It half looks like Standard. I think Modern's good. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. That's this Lava Dart from their hand. I think they've already played a land, so I don't think they can replay their Stormwing Entity if they cast this here. Playing in the Super Qualifier. They're targeting this Skyclave? Let this happen and then go to damage. Like, I think I'll just be okay going to damage here if they let it happen, and if not, I'll Ephemerate. Oh, Pierce is fine, I think. Maybe this is bad. We're at 11. They have a Stormwing Entity and a Mystery card in their hand. I think I like Witness back Ephemerate and then put a wall into play. It's not the end of the world if they get a Skyclave down. We're at like a kind of high-ish life total and really like there to be a wall in play right now. We can also just like bounce the Stormwing with Venser, I guess. We have not drawn a Path or an Ontanize yet this game. We have 6 of those in the deck. So Stormwing, 2 mystery cards. Would love to not see Manamorphose. Damn it. One on top. Attacks with everybody. You want to trade for Illusion Token and lose the Ephemerate thing? Or go to 7? I'll just go to 7, right? I don't know, I can like Ephemerate my wall or Venser bounce this. Yeah, if we block like this, and then we Ephemerate Venser, bounce Stormwing Entity, all of a sudden we could just Cryptic their Stormwing, and then like we're super stabilized if we block like this. We're like kind of stabilized. It's Uro coming up at the top. Source, don't. I'm going to play in the PTQ, Tristan. The deck does have a learning curve, but it is a deck I would recommend playing in the PTQ. Gutshot looking really powerful here. Not drawn a path, but I think we're doing okay. They're doing so okay that they conceded. Hoorah! I mean, a Cryptic is slow in this matchup, but you know, I'm not sure what we're supposed to be playing instead. Like, I don't really want the 4th Aether Gust when Stormwing Entity is like the biggest card or biggest threat. Remand's not very good. Force is not very good. Although maybe I'm down for like the first Force over the second Cryptic on the draw. I think you could maybe even play 2 instead. Dude, this hand is so good if we draw a white source. But London Mulligan, right? Yeah, this hand's way better. Okay. Put back the Witness. Needles are for Oopsal spells, Belcher, the Tron variants, and I also bring them in against 4-color. And probably bring them in against Heliod combo too, now that I think about it. Some more. Serve a Cryptic. Yeah, maybe Cryptic's better than Venser. Although it doesn't get Spell Pierced, which is kind of nice. I'm getting basic island planes here. We'll just play blue-white control. Sideboard it into blue-white control. Oops. You name Salvage Titan, and then they can't sacrifice their Salvage Titan from the graveyard, and so it stops them from getting their Vengevines back, which usually stops them from killing you. The problem is if they just draw the Salvage Titan naturally, which they only play 1 copy, but it happens. It's been happening a lot that they just draw the Salvage Titan. But you can also name Informer. But the idea is that you name Salvage Titan and they probably won't draw the Titan. gonna play Wall here. Maybe I'm supposed to hold a Cryptic, but we have plenty of answers to Stormwing, and Mana's a bit awkward. We don't have any green spells in our hand yet, so I might be getting Hallowed Fountain in end of turn, or Prairie Stream untapped if I need to path. They bolt this, yeah. We have so many white removal spells in our hand that I think I'm just down to path here. This like also makes keeping this alive makes Ephemerate more of a live draw. And I don't really mind if this eats a Spell Pierce because I have Cryptic in my hand. Might be hard to Skyclave on future turns. This also plays around another Spell Pierce kind of nicely, and again, we just don't need to be too afraid of Stormwing Entity. Card I am afraid of, I guess, is Bedlam Raveler, but not every list even plays that card. They're down to 2 cards in their hand. They don't have a lot of pressure. Silence and Collector Oof only hit permanents, although I guess I could still play Collector Oof in the sideboard or Stony Silence. I might do that. How much time do I have? 17 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and Antonize this. We can pick it up with Teferi later. Maybe we have another one. Yeah, the Collector Oof and Stony Silence also hit their artifacts. Yeah, maybe I'll play Collector Oof instead. Alright, see if they have a counter spell. I'm pretty happy to just use my Cryptic here, of course. Is Stony Silence better than Collector Oof in this deck? I kind of think that it is. Or sorry, I kind of think Collector Oof is better. Just like, especially against Tron attacking for 2. Like what deck am I bringing in Oof for that's going to have removal? I guess Mono Green Tron and E-Tron will have removal. It's probably worth gusting. Acoid, I know that other people play Vial in these decks. I'm not in favor of playing Aether Vial. Aether Vial is going to be good every time you draw exactly 1, or maybe 2, and you draw it in your opening hand and never top deck it. But it's a really bad top deck, and I haven't missed it, no. I think it's like, I've not missed it, and I have played these decks with Vial in the past, and in fact, like, one of the main reasons I even built this deck in the first place is so that I could move away from the Vials and the Soul Herders. Oof dodging enchantment and removal actually feels really relevant to me. Alright, I'm gonna Antonize that. So yeah, let me actually go ahead and make sure that I can get these Collector Oofs. But I think I'm down to play Oofs over Needles. Just like I was doing in Sultai. Be kind of awkward against Belcher if they just kill you on turn 2, if you're on the draw, I guess, but I think you have a fine Belcher matchup anyways. And I don't think that we're going to play against the Tron matchups, but it is nice to like have more sideboard cards for that matchup for sure. They put 2 cards on top. I'm kind of scared of that. Guess I'll split this up, although it's kind of soft to... They don't play Boil, they're blue-red. Recruit of the Guards is not modern legal, but it would be pretty good if it was, I think. Alright, let's just Venser that. Do I think this version is better than the old one? Against Monastery Swiftspear decks, which is the big one, this deck is much better against Swiftspear decks, and I think it's also better against Titan decks, and those are both like incredibly popular and good decks in the format at the moment, which is why I prefer this version. Alright. Maybe land to draw. I don't think I'm ephemerating Venser here, because I don't really get value off the rebound. And then let me make sure I can get my correct list registered in time for the PTQ. Soon. So drop and then rejoin. Nice. We have other good draws too. It's not, that's fine, I guess. Spiked it at 5-0. I'm still currently playing. This is game 3. I'm glad I started early, I guess. They did top 2 cards. I guess they were both Stormwing entities. Gosh. Yeah, I think I still am going to hold on to this Ephemerate, but it's kind of scary. This is the 4th one or the 3rd one? 3rd one. They have a dart in the yard. They don't. They put 2 cards on the bottom. There's some gas. Right, just pass it back. We can Ephemerate the Ice-Fang after we block here. I have 2 cards. Maybe Martinez, Ephemerate Venser, bounce the Antonize, then Skyclave the Sprite Dragon. That could have been a good play. The Yellow Hat raid. Don't have this level of clout. Maybe I was supposed to gust this. I'm pretty glad to be able to gust a red spell potentially. They're not going to attack, right? Yeah. Do I think this deck is better to play in the PTQ over Sultai? I think so, though I think it's close. I am going to play this deck in the PTQ over Sultai. I think we're going to get the 5-0. I mean, I also 5-0'd with Sultai on Friday, and I'm certainly liking both decks. I want to get Teferi down, stop any shenanigans. Cool. 5-0, the believers get rewarded, which is always nice. Feeling really good about the deck. Really competitive league, just all like tier 1 decks or like on the rise decks, and feeling good. Feeling good. Sell the